Before the modern age taught men to trust iron, steam, and the proud lie of progress, there was another kind of terror at sea. Not the terror of engines failing, not the terror of boilers bursting, not the terror of some unsinkable monster discovering that the ocean does not care. No, this was older than that. This was the age of the sailing packet, the age of timber hulls that groaned like living things, the age of canvas straining overhead through endless nights, the age of voyages so long they seemed to wear holes in a man's mind, the age when a ship could leave one continent behind, vanish into weather and rumor, and never be heard from again. In those days there were no voices traveling invisibly through the air to call for help, no wireless operator tapping out your last position, no patrol aircraft sweeping the sea, no satellites, no warning, no answer. If a ship missed her port, the world did not know whether she was delayed by calms, crippled by storm, rolled under by a sea, stove by a collision in the night, or taken by something no sensible man would dare name in daylight. A vessel could simply fail to arrive, and then the ocean would keep the rest. The old packet ships were built for patience and punishment. They crossed impossible distances under sail alone, crawling west to east, east to west, through headwinds, doldrums, hard gales, screaming squalls, and long empty weeks when the sea and sky seemed to forget there was any world beyond them. They were proud ships, hard ships, beautiful ships sometimes, and they were haunted, not always by ghosts, perhaps, but by stories, stories of ships that were unlucky, stories of ships that buried too many men, stories of watches where no one would go aloft alone, stories of footsteps where no man stood, stories of pale things seen at the rail, stories laughed at in port and believed at sea. And somewhere in that dying world of canvas and superstition sailed the Mortzestus, not a famous ship, not a glorious ship, just an old packet with a bad name. Men said she made thundering long passages. Men said dirty weather clung to her. Men said things aboard never stayed right at night. A sail properly stowed would be found working loose in darkness. A man would feel watched and laugh it off. Another would say there were too many shadows aboard that ship, too many shadows. That was the kind of thing men said before they signed on, anyway. Then came the sea itself, the long watches, the moonlit decks, the swaying belts of shadow beneath the spars, the quiet that creeps over a ship when everyone pretends everything is ordinary. And then one night someone looked aft and saw a figure climb aboard from the ocean, not from a boat, not from a ladder, not from another ship, from the sea. That is where this voyage begins. Not with a cannon blast, not with pirates under black flags, not with treasure maps or buried gold, but with a packet ship already feared, already whispered about, and a crew that will slowly realize their danger is not weather, not mutiny, not madness, but boarding. Boarding from the water, boarding in the night, boarding by shapes that seem almost human, until the light changes and the shadows move wrong. This is not a story about the glory of the sea. It is about isolation, about the long loneliness between ports, about what men will endure when there is nowhere to run, about the peculiar horror of being trapped aboard a ship that may itself have become open to something terrible, and worst of all, about the dawning suspicion that the crew is no longer alone. So step aboard the Mortzestus, listen to the wind in the rigging, listen to the creak of the timbers, watch the moonlight slide across the deck, and if you notice that the shadows seem a little too numerous, do not count them.